Test. 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 Sweet. That was pretty awesome. All right. Sweet. That was pretty awesome. All right. Okay. Now I gotta figure out what I am gonna build. That was pretty awesome. Sure. Oh, I'm still getting feedback. Dang it. Okay. There we go. All right. So today, I'm pretty sure my goal is to start building the basic chat app, which I'm sure a billion people have done, but in order to get this project off the ground, we need this page. We need some chat. So the main tools I'm going to be testing out are Cursor, of course, always GPT, and I'm going to be using the new model, which I haven't tested yet, except for some basic preliminary prompts. So we'll see how that goes. I'm judging by the buzz on the internet. I'm thinking it's going to be quite nice. So here we go. Let's make sure that the new GPT app has access to the new models as well. So let's check that. GPT. There we go. Excellent. So let's do something. All right. This is what we have so far. So I'm using a stack that is basically a Python web API with a React front end. I am extremely new to React, and I'm a little new to Python, though I've been programming for a long time. So of course I've used a bunch of Python in terms of interacting with LLMs. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, here we go. We got the React application, and I'm going to want to create probably the chat window. We want the chat window to post into a new API endpoint from our API. Derp. So let's create a new controller, I think. So I'm just going to touch a new controller in app API, and we'll call this thing the chat controller dot py. Cool. Great. Now we'll open that guy up, and we're gonna start prompting. Here we go. All right, we're gonna stick with Sonnet. I've been playing with Cursor, and I find that Sonnet, with its large context window, it's really built on top of Sonnet. So, once I/O starts working properly, I have a feeling in the long run it might be better. But for now, Sonnet, it's really tuned for cursor. So we stick with that. And we're going to ask for this to generate. So generate a new API endpoint for chat. This endpoint should create a new, let's just create the endpoint first, which is, just keep it simple. And I'm going to use the code base so that it uses other controllers as an example, since I have a lot of kind of custom code here that I want it to utilize. Okay, cool. So I have it importing, and in fact it skipped ahead and it is using the chat model, which has not been created yet. Let's see what it says. Great, we already have that. We're going to include it. All right, let's take this stuff. So let's apply this. Great. So we have a new post endpoint, which is going to create our chat. We have a new list of chats, get chat, so show endpoint, and delete chat. That's nice. We'll stick with that for now until I understand what the requirements are going to be for this. All right, main.py. I like this feature. You can just link to it. Once I'm in the main.py, we can, make sure that we already have these. Yes, we're going to import the new chats controller. That looks good. And we are also going to include it in the routes. API v1 chats looks good. Great, we did both of those. Now we need the model, which I didn't even ask it to do, but it jumped ahead and it went ahead and did that for me. So I don't like that Cursor can't yet create files for me, but you know, whatever. I can do it myself. So I tend to just grab these and touch it. I want to start adding extra prompts to my project that tell it to just give me this in the command line, so that, because it does have the ability to inject in the command line, and I'd like it to just press a button and run that for me. So we'll touch that file. I wonder if there's a command to open the file. It'd be nice. Okay, let's go to our core, let's go to our models. We got our new chat, great. And let's take this code. We haven't really looked at it yet. It's weird that it has to generate when it's injecting a brand new file, and I could have copied and pasted it faster. We'll just accept it for now. It's saying base is not declared, so clearly we have an issue here. Since I'm pretty fresh at this, this was kind of my example, this actions endpoint. So see where we pull the base out normally. So for the chat, this is the pedantic definition for this. So it should be coming out of my pedantic, so base model. So we'll change this. Oops. Change this to the base model. Base model, that looks fine. Didn't really do much here except add this. And we actually do want database for this, because I want to save the state of the chat for later purposes. We can look up the history, go back to an old chat. For now, let's get something working end to end. It'd be kind of nice. So we'll revisit that. Great. So I'm using something called Fast API. So to see if everything's working well, I'm going to go to my localhost 80. and go to the API JSON. No, I want the docs endpoint. And I'm not 100% sure this is working, so let's check my, get a new desktop, oops. Get a new desktop here. We'll pull up in our Docker. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. And we can see we have some errors. So this is one thing that I've been loving with Cursor, which is, man, I don't want to think about this error. Let's look at what it is anyway, get an idea. But yeah, it's a pedantic issue. Non-annotated attribute. Interesting. So I'm lazy. I don't really want to look up what exactly happened here. So we're just gonna grab this whole thing and we're gonna paste it into here. I do want this. Finally, we need to create a migration. We're gonna want that later. For now, move this. Move this. For now, we're just doing this. We can just paste it in. Okay, so apparently mix some stuff up here. Oh, I guess I did it wrong. It's changing it back to base model. Okay, let's try it. I mean, doesn't seem right, but no, that's not right. So it looks like it's kind of stumped here, right? So we're mixing SQL Alchemy. This is the SQL Alchemy one. Okay, so pedantic was for these guys, base model, and then it looks like we didn't import the SQL Alchemy here, which is what this change is here. SQL Alchemy, declarative base. There we go. We're gonna reject the changes and just do it ourselves here. Let's see what happens. That should be right. Clear the base. Clear the base. Oh, we did get our. I'm confused. Base does work, but I'm not seeing where it's imported, so it's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna use this one as an example. So, okay, just sent in base, which is coming out from AppCore DB. Burp. this loads in my database connections. I'm new with this structure, so just unfamiliar with it. Looks like we're still getting errors. There we go. Alright, that took a little longer than I intended. So now we got our new API endpoints here. And we should be able to, this is probably just error out when I actually try it because we don't have a database yet. Yeah, 500. And that's going to say something like no database. But at least the endpoints are generated. And we can go back to this Ambic thing and create the database, which I really should think about it before I create it here. But, yeah. Let's see, what we need to do is just shelled into my Docker, and we're going to generate this Ambic. And then that should have generated something in my migrations. Core, migrations, versions. Got a new migration here. Okay, this will be a good chance to use the edit function. Let's edit this. Actually, I just love the code base one, so let's create a new chat. I don't understand why these are all in here. Remove, okay. So we're gonna ask if migration for chats should add the rows, columns for chat, text, user, keep the user out of it for now. Chat text, model, I have a feeling I'm gonna have many chats, so this is more of a, thinking I should model it as a chat and then a conversation. Conversation being a collection of chat messages, potentially a tree. And so maybe we have chat text, model, what do we call this? Oh, so it's not confusing, LLM model, oops. And chat text and next chat ID. Okay. We'll just copy these out of here. I don't think this is working well. I think I need to update my cursor file. Let's see how this looks. We got chat. We're adding chat text. This is a type of text. LLM model string. And next chat ID is an integer with a foreign key for chats. Next chat ID. This looks great. Remove all that on down. Okay. We need to update this file to our chat model. So let's do that. We're adding these things, so let's apply. Continue. Kind of annoyed. Sometimes it blocks. This thing blocks me. Oh, can't move it. So I want to see what changed here, and it looks like we're adding a import SQL Alchemy text type of column. I guess we'll accept that. Then we added the new columns. We don't have a timestamp. We probably should. We already had a message. We don't have a user ID. We have a regular ID. Don't have a user ID. We do have a message. Chat response. Okay. Relationship, huh? Just gonna accept this import of relationship. That looks good. Foreign key. Okay, we'll accept both of those. Okay. That looks good. We want this probably passed in from the create, so create LLM model. Oops. Yep. We want the LLM model. What's the next chat ID? It's kind of interesting. We can put the response directly in there. Okay. I think we want one more item, which is we want to save the response to that chat. So I think we should have a response item. I need to add a response. To the Iambic migration for chat and the chat model. We'll use our code base on this one. Sometimes I wonder I could probably just modify this stuff quicker myself. That looks good. Yep. Drop response, type text, looks good. Okay. Accept. don't want the chat response. We only really want it on update because we're going to need to update the model to include it. We're never going to get it back on create, so it's kind of an optional field. We probably include it all the time, and then if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. So apply to entire file. Looks good. Okay, that's good. I think we're ready to run our migration. So I'm just going to ask it, give me the command to run my migration, because using my brain is hard. Looks like we have an issue. Ah. Just paste it right in there. Oh. Wow, okay. Yeah, I think I need to restart my Sonnet. My cursor. Cursor is not working well at the moment. It's getting stuck a lot. It's just not submitting. Okay. Let's restart this. Wonder if I can. There we go. Oh. Yeah, we probably need to create the table first, huh? Alright, let's take these upgrades. And make sure we're in the. Get the open files for me. We're gonna apply entire file. Let's take those changes. Yeah, that looks great. Drop the whole table. Beautiful. Beautiful. That ran this time. I love it. Okay. Let's see if we can post something. So let's see our new chats endpoint. We're going to create chat message. Try it out. Which tell me a joke. Don't want user ID. Did I leave user ID in there? I probably just haven't refreshed it. So let's get back here. Let's just refresh. Yep, message on model. Okay, try it out. Test. Okay. Execute. That's silly. Internal server error. Let's see what we get here. Message is invalid. What did we actually call it? Column chat text, not message. So go back here, change that real quick. Chat text looks good. Message not looking good. Message. Not looking good. Okay, let's try one more time now. Let me try it out. T-turt. T-turt. Server error, we got another error. This time, next chat ID. See now I don't know how to make these optional. Good thing I have an LLM with me. Let's paste the whole comment. Let's take it. I need to make the next chat optional. No, I don't want a user ID. No. We'll just reject that change. Let's see what it did though. So no, we reject this. This one's null true, that's exactly what we needed. Nullable equals true, response, definitely need that. That should fix it. Beautiful. It's nice. Let's give it a go. Execute it again. Another error. This time, should be a valid integer, should be a valid integer. Did we not? Needs to be in the model. Now let's just tear it down. So we're gonna update our the issue I'm seeing here is that most likely the database is requiring me to have this relationship. So we need to update our migration to make this next chat ID optional. Oh, it is nullable. So the response nullable true. They're all nullable. Come on. So we should be good. Let's try again. I have a feeling it's something to do with my create chat. That's all we need. Let's just comment these out for now and see if it was the response that's causing the 500. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't have a timestamp. Response. We want to leave that in, but let's just get rid of it for now to get rid of all variables. Go back down to here. We try it out. Classic. Come on. It's first time trying to code live, so it's definitely more nerve-wracking than normal. Response and user ID. Missing. I thought I got rid of all user ID references, but I guess not. No, it's right in front of me. We wanted this. We want this. Try it again. So we just execute. There we go, 200. Now we have our ASD. Apparently I did create 4, so it was the response model that was causing that issue. All right. Now, something a little more fun. Making API endpoints isn't really that fun. So let's do a new front end side. So now we're going to start hitting the React. Let's switch these two screens. I'm going to hit my Docker. All right, the React app, finally. We'll add a new page here. I'd like to add a new form to the chat endpoint that takes a message, chat message, and also has a dropdown should be hard coded with GPT-4 as the only option for now. The form should submit to the create chat endpoint. And so I need to make sure it knows I'm talking about my React app. So in my, we'll use it, I'm calling it LLM chat app. So in my LLM chat app, I need to okay, and we use Codebase here because we're kind of changing context. Okay, first let's update the chat component. Sounds good to me. Looks like we don't actually have a chat component yet. So what are we talking about here? It's probably the feature. Yeah, there it is. Chat. So let's open this guy. It should have given me a link to it so I could get to it fast, but here we go. Apply. We're just going to blindly accept this stuff because I'm pretty bad at React. Okay. What are we going to do next? Now let's update our API URLs. Yeah, we need to do that. I forget where that is. That is in config, APIs. I'm going to apply this. Accept. Sounds good. Let's see what we got. Hey, look at that. Beautiful. Test. Yep. Failed. Cool. Chats, because we have that extra chat in the URL. We need to fix that. Should have done it earlier. Let's see, that's not a good way to phrase it. I'm going to phrase this better. Refer to the endpoint directly. So we say my post endpoint is chats/chat. My post API endpoint is API/v1/chats/chat. Chats/chats. The deprecated and redundant. Please remove that. And we'll use Codebase again. I probably could have done that faster than telling it. Just need to open up my core API chats controller. We probably have some pathing. Oh, that's probably in my. Well, it'll tell me. There it is, the router, which is in my chats controller. I thought it was my chats controller. Let's apply. Derp. I could have done that faster than prompting. Oh well. It's like, I wonder, the less we're required to use our brains, it's gonna like atrophy, right? I don't have to think about it. Such a simple change, yet I'm prompting for it. It's special, but also makes me hopeful that that this stuff's really gonna take off. Success. Okay. So, but what happened to that chat? It's just gone. So let's add that chat. So I'm gonna say, when I create a new chat, it should. Let's see, should we copy GPT? I mean, right? Let's use a shitty model. Is it shitty? I don't know. 4.0 mini. Okay. What's up? Let's see. Write an introduction for me to share on live stream. Hello everyone and welcome to my stream. I'm Derek Brenner, an application developer at Data Lake, where I specialize in crafting software solutions. Beyond my day job, I'm also working on web applications that integrate large language models and machine learning, and exploring the exciting possibilities of these technologies. When I'm not coding, I'm diving into game design, crafting new video game in Unity, theorizing what makes games truly engaging. I also have a passion for building dynamic web applications. Currently, I'm developing a project with a tech stack that includes Python, FastAPI, SQLAlchemy, React, and Docker, aiming to streamline development and minimize boilerplate code. This is great. Like, I just don't have to think. I can just have ChatGPT introduce myself for me. I'm thrilled to share my journey with you and dive into various topics, whether it's software, development, game design, or just tech in general. Feel free to ask me questions. Except I'm not actually monitoring any chats, so I'll ignore you until later. All right. Feel free to adjust any details as needed. As a large language model, I can't introduce you to... No, okay. Cool. So what we're doing, I think what we should do is we should copy their UI exactly. So we're going to take the chat message, throw it on the bottom, take the LLM model, throw it on the bottom, probably left align it, and then also the chat will right align with the message in the middle. We want plenty of room for it, and then we'll have a workspace above that will scroll. Okay, so what are we gonna do? I'd like to move the UI elements for my chat to be... I keep using the term fixed, but I think it's called float. to be floated to the bottom of the page, and the model select should be left aligned. The chat or the message, what are we calling it? Chat message. Yeah. Chat message should be centered, and the submit button should be on the left or right. Or right. Did I do that right? Model should be left aligned, then be right. Looks good. Then we'll leave it at that for now. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Well, we'll find out. So I haven't really given it any kind of context about where I want the message to show up yet, but we'll see how this works. Float the UI elements to the bottom of the page, line as you requested. Great. We're going here. Great. And we are going to apply it. Let's see what we're doing here. It's a lot of, oh yeah, it's using Tailwind. Beautiful. So it's no actual CSS work here. Except, I really should learn Tailwind so I could follow along this better, but to reference the original code block, I'll use the following format. Okay, this isn't, let's see how it looks. Okay, so the page is scrolling. I don't want it to scroll. Okay. Also, this thing needs to be bigger. The ability to like make it bigger. Right now it's small. Eventually I want to add tools to this. But you know what? For now. Okay. The chat message should be a text area. What else? Add a label to the model. The label should be above. What else? Okay, it scrolls. We don't want it to have to scroll. Let's just make those changes first, and then we'll address the scrolling. Generating bleep bloop. Generating. Looks like there's one person watching me, and that's most likely me, so that's fun. Okay. Let's accept this. See how that looks. No. Let's Control Z that. I'd like to change the text area. I'd like to change the chat message to be a text area. It's kind of funny, like 22 file references. I really didn't need to reference anything. Let's accept this one. No. Well, I mean, it's not quite right. That's fun. Start anew because it's getting. My 3-column layout for chat looks great, but I would like the chat message to be a text area. I'm pretty sure I can just change it to a text area, but and why am I in chat UI? That's probably confusing it. We should be in. Oh yeah, chat.js, that's correct. Okay, so let's actually look at what's happening here. We are changing it to, I mean, this is the best part of using this stuff, is I can actually learn while I do it. So this went from item center to item flex column, and I have no idea what the difference is. I almost don't think I want that. I think what I want is form. Well, this is the main thing I want here. Let's try it. We can change just this. Let's take this. See what that does. Alright, it's not working well. So really what I want to do is just change this to a text area. Need to close it out. That's all I wanted. I kind of did like the model on top though. See more room. And let's add some test content here. So add some test data. Lol. Yep. Just want this. Kind of like that. Even though that didn't do what I wanted it to do. I need to float this freaking thing. What's it called when you float something? Let's choose GPT. Fixed. It's fixed. Fixed. Yeah, I mean, I didn't use the right word, so I'll blame you. Let's see what it does. Gotta know the right words. Oops. There we go. Okay, let's add a bunch of chats here. No, let's not add a bunch of chats. Let's make it the list endpoint. So now I'm going to display all chats in the do I even have a list endpoint? List chats, yes I do. That should be updated without the chats. No, let's fix that. App. I think I need to talk louder if I'm streaming. I actually want people to understand what I'm saying here. So, sorry, I'm sick. Okay, API. Chats controller. Now, yeah, none of these, we don't need chats on any of these. I think they get added automatically. Okay, perfect. So let's try this. Execute. Yep, looks good. So now I'd like to display all the chats using the list endpoint. List endpoint, I'm going to copy it directly out of here, which is, wish I could actually copy it. API v1 chats, so just type it. API/v1/chats. It should update when I create a new chat. Let's replace the component with the following code. What happened? We're just going to take it. Yeah, we're going to accept all these. Let's make sure it's still rendering. Nope, we're not actually rendering our chats here. But let's try. No. We need this to be in our config api.json. Let's close all this. Man, how many things did I have open? Come on. Everything. I'll close this group. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. I knew this was going to be an issue. think that was the wrong way to handle it. What I really want is alright, I think that's enough for now. First time streaming, I was really just testing this setup, seeing if I can stream onto YouTube and X, and I think that was successful. I think next time I will do something more exciting, maybe a game. So I'm gonna stop streaming for now.